Over the last 35 years, more than 130 people have been released from death row because of evidence of their innocence. With numbers like this, it's very reasonable to assume that over time there have been innocent men and women put to death for a crime they didn't commit while the true guilty was set free. In America, the death penalty allows those that have been convicted of a crime to be sentenced to death as a way to punish the guilty and bring justice. However, even the best of the minds in this country make mistakes. Even though nobody wants to think of it, people that are being convicted of crimes can sometimes be innocent. Like a man named Troy Davis, he was to be executed by lethal injection because he was convicted of murder of a police officer with no evidence and no murder weapon. Only the testimonies of witnesses used to convict. Davis continued to claim that he was innocent. Under the Constitution, can we legally execute somebody who is innocent? A person like Troy Davis could one day be your neighbor or your relative or your friend, and it's everyone's responsibility as citizens of this country to maintain justice and make sure innocent men and women are not being killed. As I've grown older, I have come to believe that this is every citizen's responsibility to become aware of the things that are going on in this country so that when voting you can make educated decisions. This is what has caused me to learn more about this issue, and once I learned the facts, it's caused me to want to share it with others. Today I want to persuade you that because you are a citizen of this country, to get involved and vote and not stand for the death penalty. It should be abolished because there's too much room for error, and the possibility of killing an innocent person is too great of a risk to be taken. First, let's talk about what the death penalty is. Years ago, when people committed crimes, even ones such as stealing a horse, they were to be executed. Today, if an extreme crime such as murder is committed, the accused could possibly be put on death row to await their execution. A person could be executed in a variety of ways, such as hanging, and this is what the gallows look like, or they could be executed by the electric chair, where they're electrocuted, or now what's most commonly used is lethal injection, and this is what the room looks like. And people are allowed to view the death through a window right here. Now let's look at the reasons why people believe the death penalty is wrong. Supporting the death penalty could be considered no different than putting someone to death yourself, because someone has to be the one to kill them. Taking the life of a human being, whether deserved, is still considered morally wrong. Justice isn't ours to take anyway, especially when there are so many reasons to doubt the current justice system, because there are so many mistakes already being made. The death penalty cannot be reversed either if the already executed is found out to be innocent at a later time, and that person's life should never be risked. And finally, let's look at why abolishing the death penalty is the right thing to do for this country. If life in prison is used instead of the death penalty, it could be somewhat revoked if the person is found out to be innocent. As a nation, we are prone to mistakes, and keeping the death penalty is basically setting ourselves up for disaster with no way to make it right. This country should not be doing to even the guilty, what we are teaching is wrong. Prisons are built for a reason, and they are built to house the believed guilty, so why not use them anyway? Abolishing the death penalty would create more jobs also for prison guards. As an American, how this country operates and all the things it allows every day is everyone's concern, and making this country the best that it could be everyone's responsibility. There are many reasons to abolish the death penalty that outweigh the reasons to keep it. According to Stassen, it costs $12.3 million to execute somebody, but only $1 million to keep them in prison for life. A life sentence allows for errors to be corrected, as it was for a man who was a mailman and he was innocent, and he had been imprisoned for 10 years awaiting his execution for a murder he had nothing to do with. Currently, there are worldwide 57 countries and territories whose laws do not provide for the death penalty for any reason. Even if you believe that the death penalty is the right thing to do to bring justice to the guilty, there are just too many things that could go wrong and too many what-ifs that could happen. The death penalty is already becoming a thing of the past for many of these countries, and we should follow their example. Because the possibility that more people are dying every day is too big of a risk that any of us should be willing to take. In this country right now, 60% of Americans currently say they support the death penalty. And even though that's a big number, it's the lowest level of support the polling company has found since 1972. And the death penalty support would be even lower if people were aware of the facts surrounding it. And it's in everyone's power as a voter to elect office members who believe in a justice system and will not take the risk of killing an innocent person. How would we feel to know that the person we just convicted and executed later turned out to have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time, completely innocent? If something isn't done, people will continue to slip through the cracks, and this will continue to happen, and innocent lives will be lost.